Every great fortune begins as a whisper, and long before Bitcoin became a word spoken on television screens and trading floors, there was already a hunger in the world for money that answered to no nation. The year 2005 exists in the Bitcoin story not as a birthdate, but as a shadowed prelude, a time when distrust in traditional finance quietly grew beneath the surface. Official Bitcoin coin struck in 2005, no mint mark, no government seal. Yet the idea of one has taken root in imagination because legends often form before reality catches up. In those years, cryptographers, programmers, and dreamers were already discussing digital scarcity, private money, and freedom from centralized control. Bitcoin itself would later emerge as pure code, not metal, and that is precisely what makes it revolutionary. Unlike gold coins locked in vaults, Bitcoin was born weightless, invisible, and unstoppable. Its value was never meant to be stamped into gold, yet people still crave physical symbols of great power. The idea of a golden Bitcoin coin represents humanity's need to touch what it believes in. When people imagine an early Bitcoin artifact from a time before the world understood its significance, they imagine destiny captured too soon, like a prophecy written before the event. When Bitcoin finally appeared years later, it did not arrive with trumpets or ceremony. It arrived quietly, passed between a few curious minds who saw possibility where others saw nothing. That early silence is why the myth of earlier origins feels so compelling. Physical Bitcoin coins that exist today were created later as representations, not currency itself. Their true power lies not in metal or shine, but in what they symbolize. Access to digital keys, ownership without permission, and wealth beyond borders. The coin is the story, not the system. Gold-colored Bitcoin coins circulate around the world as reminders of what early belief can become. Some are souvenirs, some are collectibles, and some are tied to real digital value through private keys. The difference between a novelty and a fortune is knowledge. The myth of a pre-Bitcoin artifact speaks to a deeper truth about wealth. Those who recognize change early are often ridiculed until history rewrites their names. Bitcoin rewarded belief, patience, and courage more brutally and more generously than almost any invention before it. There are stories of people discarding hard drives, losing passwords, or ignoring what they once held. In Bitcoin's world, loss is permanent and fortune is unforgiving. That reality fuels the idea that something rare, early, and misunderstood could still exist, waiting to be recognized. What makes Bitcoin capable of creating billionaires overnight is not magic, but mathematics combined with human psychology. Scarcity is absolute, supply is fixed, and belief compounds faster than interest ever could. Once the world agreed on its value, the door to unimaginable wealth opened. A physical Bitcoin coin, especially one imagined from an early forgotten era, becomes a metaphor for timing. It represents standing at the edge of history before the crowd arrives. That moment is where fortunes are born, not when the headlines finally appear. The absence of a mint mark in this legend is meaningful. Bitcoin answers to no mint, no government, and no central authority. Its purity comes from that absence, and its power grows precisely because nothing official controls it. Collectors, investors, and dreamers chase symbols because symbols carry memory. A gold Bitcoin coin reminds the world that value is whatever humans agree to protect, believe in, and refuse to surrender. That agreement is stronger than metal. Bitcoin changed how humanity defines money, ownership, and trust. It punished hesitation and rewarded conviction. Those who held when others mocked now live in a different economic reality, separated not by luck, but by vision. So while a 2005 Bitcoin coin does not exist as a minted object, it exists powerfully as an idea. It represents believing before proof, holding before validation, and recognizing fortune while it is still invisible. That is the real power that changes lives overnight.